I'm going to do a pistol review today of this Walther PPK S. It is a 380 ACP, and it's made by Interarms. There is some interesting history with this company, and I'm just going to do a quick review. This is a sweetheart piece. If you've been a watch collector and you like watches, you know the association between this and that pistol, and that is with James Bond. I took a long time to find one of these because I wanted a blue one. It seemed like stainless steel was predominant, and I didn't want the new Smith & Wesson iteration because I didn't like that extended beaver tail. It's empty, it's checked, there's nothing in the chamber, it's got an empty magazine. So with the Smith & Wesson, I think the overall bluing on this one too is just much more traditional, cool. It's that old school bluing. With the newer guns, the newer Walther made by Smith & Wesson with the extended beaver tail, it has like a black, more of a black finish, a flat black finish. So this one has got that old school traditional finish. Not many marks. It's in really good condition. I mean, there's a little spot right here. You could probably just, deal with it or leave it alone. Now, this particular pistol is kind of interesting because this was produced towards the end of the Interarms license and production. The target I have the original box, which was really cool. I got with the purchase, which is kind of rare. You don't really see that a lot with used guns. Sometimes with these Walthers. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. But with this, you got the manuals, you got the target. The target dates to about 1996, I believe. It's the factory target that they use to, to test it and for the customer to show the, that it works. So yeah, it's cool. It got the box. The only thing it didn't come with is that plastic cleaner, the rod cleaner. And it seems like when I try to source one of those out, they're really hard to find. I guess maybe Interarms was using plastic, whereas the older Walthers, the German ones, and the Menier and French-made Menier, I can't even pronounce it. Menier and French-made PPKs had a steel one. So I like to get the period correct rod. It's kind of petty, but you want to keep the collection. But that's the only thing it didn't come with. It came with the flat floor magazine, which is what's in it now. Last round slide open. There's no magazine release. Also interesting on this piece, and maybe it was because of the later production, is if you look at that barrel, this one tricked me up a little bit because I thought this was replaced. The previous owner, somehow it got damaged and got replaced. However, that barrel is normal to see in the later production Walther PPKs in the late 90s, mid-late 90s. More in the late 90s, I would say. So, when I first got it, I was like, man, I need to either blue that or source one out to the correct barrel. But then I later found that that's maybe they started cutting corners a little bit, or just not, using a stainless steel barrel. I'm not sure, or just the decision to go, go that route with the, with that design. But yeah, it's got the, so you have to, let's see, take the magazine out. When you got another. It's, you can release it and it's ready to go. Yeah, this is just a classic piece. It's just a piece I'm just going to sit on and just, it'll just watch it go up in value a little bit. I'm on the hunt right now for a Walther PP, like in 32. This is in 380 ACP again. Right now, the ammo shortage, 380 and 9mm is impossible to find. And when it does come up, they are sold like as soon as you get the notice and jump on your computer to buy some. And they're extremely overpriced. I mean, there's gougings in a full effect. The 32 version of this, not this one because it's a fortune, but the PP with the extended barrel. Don't forget, or maybe I should mention, this is the PPK S. It adds an additional round over the PP. And that was due to the 1968 Gun Control Act to make it importable into the U.S. I believe this one, being Interarms, was made in the USA, as it states on the other side of the slide. So interesting little history with that company if you want to look it up. But yeah, nice piece. And like I said, I'm not really interested in the Smith & Wesson version. I guess the first runs of those when they came out before the re-release that just happened last year had some issues. People were complaining about it. I don't know, if that's internet complaining or what. It seemed like it was okay built. It's Smith & Wesson build quality, so I'm sure it couldn't be a bad pistol. I mean, they have had their Sigma, which was, again, internet issues maybe. I don't know. I mean, maybe they were failure to feed issues and other issues related to the trigger and stuff like that. But Smith & Wesson overall makes good gun. So the new version, I guess, is not getting too many complaints. But again, being a kind of a purist, and there's your decocker. And actually, you can still see the red paint on it. That shows you how much this was probably stored in a safe or unused. Really good shape, really good shape. Blued is a finish or a process that's a little bit easier to mar up. So you'll see some of these when, it's a lot of dings and dents, or you'll see them with, the bluing rubbed off because they're in a holster. This doesn't look like it was even, carried. So there's the other side right there. You can see the finish is still in really good shape, and there's the part of the A serial number. Yeah, just a great collector's piece. There's your trigger takedown. I'm going to do a review sometime coming up too of the Walther 22LR version that was released in 2012, 2013. That's made out of that Zamak, which kind of caught me by surprise. I didn't know that until about a year after the fact that it was not made out of steel as these were. Forged steel, which is kind of a bummer. But being a 22, it doesn't really have the cartridge enough to worry about issues like that. I mean, I haven't seen any reported issues on that piece with slide cracking or anything like that. So it must be, Walther. It's Umarex owns Walther in Germany. And they made that. They're the same company that made the BB gun pistol version of that. But I'll get into that review. But that's what made me turn to want to find one of these. And believe me, if you've been looking for one of these pieces in blued, in good condition, with the factory box, if you're looking for the German one, you're talking a couple grand, $2,000 or $3,000, $4,000 easy. This one I picked up for a really good deal, and there's no way I'm going to let it go ever. I'm just going to hold on to it because I'd never find another one. And I just love that blued finish. There's a made in USA. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. And there's the other side. Yeah, really, really good condition. Like I said, obviously it's not been used that much. It's probably just sat in somebody's closet or in somebody's safe. The barrel just kind of gets me, though. It threw me off because every older version of Walther PPK, PPKS, you always see the barrel is blued. But that's just the late 90s. You'll see these. But it threw me off. Like I said, I was about ready to try to blue it myself, which is not the best, but at least it would get the color down. Or see about replacing it. But then, after a little bit of research of looking at like Gunbroker and other sites, you start seeing those A serial numbers starting with the 9 with the same silver stainless steel barrel color, unblued. So, yeah, just a great piece. Highly collectible, and the association with James Bond and, this, they kind of go hand in hand. So, yep. Cool collector's piece. Okay, thanks.